So we'll go ahead and get started. We've got Yusang and Coach Ianella with us. We're going to start with questions for Yusang. If anybody wants to just get us started here or use the raise hand function, whatever you guys want to get going, we can start with Yusang. Let's go, David Kelly, KVOA. David.
Hey, Yusang, how are you?
Hi, David. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, just kind of obviously you've been invited to the Augusta Women's National event, and I believe you were invited last year. Now take me through last year because they didn't play the event, but I believe you still went there. Is that correct? And how excited you were about the opportunity to go again?
Oh, it's definitely something really exciting because I actually planning to go try the Q school this year, and it might be my last time to play in that event. So to be able to go back, and actually I didn't qualify to play the last round at Augusta last year. So it'll be great if I can make it this year.
What was that like to kind of go back and be a part of that experience and be on that, historic golf platform?
It's really exciting, and to have my sister with me again, it's definitely something definitely will be remembered.
All right, Justin Spears, you're next, Arizona Daily Star. Justin?
Yusang, when you said you didn't qualify, what made it so challenging during that event?
I think it's the pressure, like you really want to make it to the final round, and you just, for the last few holes, you just keep thinking about it. And I had a big mistake on the last hole to miss cut to playing that last event. Yeah.
Was that probably the most pressure you felt?
It's just you have how you say it, like you really wanted to play in it, and you just wanted to achieve that for yourself, and you just thought about a lot of things on the tee box or just on that last hole. You just keep thinking about it. It just happened. I don't know.
And what have you done since the end of last season up until this point? Just kind of, what's been the timeline with you?
So I went back home last March, and I just stay most of my time at home, and it's really lucky we still have tournaments to play. So I just keep playing and keep practicing, and it's just definitely really different from my normal life here as a student athlete. But it's just, I'm really happy that I still have tournaments to play.
Alec White, Arizona Daily Star, you're next. Alec?
Yeah, when were you able to get back on campus? Because I know Coach Ianella was saying at the beginning of the year she was still waiting on a couple people to get back.
Yeah. So it was really tough time. Like you don't know, because I was in Taiwan and I have no idea what's the situation's like, what's the pandemic's like in United States, because all the news it sounds really bad. And we have a few conversations with my parents, and we still think that it will probably be okay just to come back, and we really want to come back is because it's my senior year. So we just decided just to come back and join the team.
And then you had a top 10 finish at the last tournament you played in. Just what was working for you in your golf game that weekend in the tournament?
I feel so excited to play in that tournament because it feels like a long time since last time I played in a college event, but it's only been a year and I've actually been playing, but it just feels a little bit different. But last tournament, I think that playing a professional event back home actually helped me a lot, and I think I improved my game like mentally. And last tournament, I think I focused most on my mental and like the course strategy, and actually coaches helped me a lot. And I think that still have a few mistakes, but I think during to be continued this week, I think everything will get a little bit better. Yeah.
And then it's your guys' first home tournament of the year. So just kind of what's the excitement of the team to be able to host a tournament for the first time in a while?
It's definitely something really exciting because finally have a home event and finally can get to play with the team. And we definitely looking forward to shoot some lower score here as the Wilo, since we're playing here every single day.
All right, we'll move to Seth with the Arizona Daily Wildcat. Seth?
Hi, you saying, have you had to adjust your game coming back to Tucson in this climate and the altitude?
Yeah, actually I got used to it already because, here it's really dry and I was kind of like trying to figure out my yardage first I got back, but now after practice every single day, I actually got better with it and just really exciting to play in the tournament.
How comfortable are you on desert courses? Is it the kind of course you enjoy or you prefer other types?
I actually really liked it playing the desert because it's just pretty wide open and your ball just rolls forever. Yeah.
And then what's it like being back with the team and being kind of back on campus and back in Tucson?
Definitely really different from before the pandemic, but I actually really happy that we still have a team I can practice with them, just because golf is a really lonely sport, but actually have a teammate with you guys, with us and coaches, you just make practice a little bit more fun. Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go back to David. David?
Hey, you saying I saw you played in a lot of events back in China. So were those? I guess what are those? How do those events compare to what you play here in the United States on the college level? Is the competition tougher? Is it about the same?
I think it's pretty much the same because like back home we play with all the professional players back home in Taiwan, and like here we have all the really great players like in college. So it just make myself keep myself in competition mode, and if you can make it to the top, you have a lot of things to work on. So it's really nice to be able to play in both both places. So I really like it.
And what time of year was that? Because I saw one video where you were in a driving rainstorm, and there was another video where you were kind of wearing earmuffs, and I didn't know if that was because if it was cold or if that was a fashion thing. Is it more of a fall winter situation at that time?
So the events I played last year is actually really, the weather was really going weird. It was really weird. It's cold or like wet, the raining. It's just all the mixture weather we got during the tournament. And sometimes I just have to wear the beanie and everything. It just got so really cold. But here it's cold, but it actually got hot in the middle of the day. But like back home, it just really just raining all day. So that would just be I can't get used to the cold, so I have to have those things on. So it made me feel like I have like 10 layers on.
And I saw you were at a baseball game where you threw out the first pitch. What was that? How did that experience come about? And are you a huge baseball fan?
I wasn't a huge baseball fan until I get back home because I wasn't really that into sports besides golf. But I just because my sister actually just loved baseball games back home. That team we really support that team, and I went to my first baseball game in April, I think, and I just fell in love with it. I love the environment, people just cheering for them, and it's just really cool experience that we can actually go to be the first pitch.
And I know over the last month, there's been a lot of talk here in the United States about Asian Americans experiencing racism as a result of this pandemic. Have you experienced anything in the time since you've gotten back to the United States?
Not really, because I think the people around me or like in the Tucson community, I think people really just really supporting each other. So I didn't really experience any of that racism or everything. Yeah.
That's good.
All right, we'll wrap up with you saying with Justin.
I remember last time we talked to Coach Ianello, she said it was so difficult to have a team meeting because everyone was scattered across the globe. What time of day were you having meetings?
It's really hard to schedule for sure because we have people in Lithuania, we have people in Taiwan, we just have people everywhere. So I really think it's really hard work for Coach Jay and Coach Ianello. It just sometimes it's like in the morning for us, at really late night for them. So it always depends on what time works best for everyone. But I remember there's a meeting was like 7 a.m. for them. So I feel really bad.
And what time was it for you back home?
It was 10 I think it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 10 o'clock. I think it's 15 hours change. Yeah.
Okay, so it was almost like perfect timing for you.
Yeah, it's perfect time for us.
Pretty convenient.
Yeah.
And when the pandemic ended the season last year, was there ever thought about maybe not coming back to Tucson, or what went through your thought process at the end of last season?
Oh, it was really I was really shocked at first. Like I didn't know that everything's going to be so long, the pandemic, and like my parents just really worry about it for coming back to United States. But actually, after I got back here, I think everything is actually under control, and people are actually doing the like wearing a mask, sanitizing everything. So I actually think it's not as bad as I thought. So it was really hard before I coming back to make this decision. Yeah.
And I'm sure it helps having family here as well.
Yeah, I have my sister with me. It definitely helped a lot because we have so many off times now. We don't have to go to classes. So it will be really, I would say it will be lonely to just by myself if I'm only one here. But I'm really happy I have my sister with me.
And lastly, what is the best round you have played at Sawilo, either a practice round or during an event?
In the score or just in general? The score?
Yeah, score. What was your best score?
I think it was 68 or 69, I think. Yeah.
All right. Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Yusang. We'll see you Monday out at Sawilo.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
All right, and we'll get started here with Coach Ianello. Justin Spears, we'll start with you with Coach.
I guess just kind of going off of the person we just talked about, what's it like having Yusang back, and what have you seen out of her?
It feels tremendous to have Yusang and Vivian both back from Taiwan. I was really fearful there for a while that they weren't going to return. But Yusang is, she was on our national championship team in 2018. She's a senior. She's immediately came in as taking that leader role that we needed, having won tournaments and have been at the forefront of our success. Having her and Vivian back is it's going to be instrumental in our success here this semester.
And going back to the Masters qualifiers, she said she struggled dealing with the pressure, but I'm sure you've seen her handle pressure well going back to that national championship, correct?
Yes, when Yusang was a part of our national championship team, she was a freshman, only having been here for one semester, and so I really think at that time Yusang had no idea like the situation that she was in at the national championship. She was just a little freshman going out to play and didn't quite get the magnitude of the tournament. But at the Augusta last year, she double bogeyed her last hole to qualify to play at Augusta. And I mean, she was so devastated. And that was part of her game that has improved so much the most is her mental toughness, her ability to stay focused. And she has a little bit of a temper out on the golf course. So she has a couple bad holes. She can lose her mental state of mind very quickly. And I think last week at Arizona State up at Talking Stick, I saw where she really was able to stay calm even after having a bad hole. So she's definitely progressing and getting better day by day, which is a good thing for a senior who's going to be turning pro here shortly.
All right, we'll go to Seth. You're up next, Seth.
Hi, Coach. So now that you kind of got, the team back, what was the first thing you said to them or that you did when you had your first team practice? Was it kind of like stand in a circle and say everybody's name since it's been so long?
Well, luckily everybody's known each other pretty well from our Zoom meetings, but it was just really nice to have 5 young women out on the practice field, because before they returned, we couldn't compete as a team. We were just 3 individuals going to tournaments, and we were at that breaking point of not even knowing if we were going to have a season at all because we didn't know if we had enough players return. So when they came back to practice, it was definitely a warm welcome. Super excited. We also have Ya Chun Chang, another player from Taiwan who is still not here with us, but she's going to be returning from Taiwan this week. So we'll have 6 players. So just, trying to be patient, and it's the COVID year, but we're going to make the best out of it.
And then what's the kind of excitement between you and the team for this, for the upcoming tournament, get back on a home course and try to get a win?
Yeah, we're hosting at Sawilo. We've been diligent with our practice out there. We know the course. I'm just trying to make sure that the ladies are fresh. They feel confident. There's going to be a lot of really good teams here this week. I don't know if you guys have seen the field, but you've got a lot of teams ranked in the top 20 with USC to Texas, Oklahoma State, Oregon. I mean, the field is going to be probably one of the best fields that we've had in a couple years. So I definitely know the ladies are going to have to come out and they're going to have to play well in order for us to win. It's definitely not a guarantee to win because we're home.
Mm-hmm. And then my last one is, you kind of talked about it, trying to stay cool on the golf course, and you saying, kind of can get a little hot. I think we all can on the golf course. What kind of things do you preach to, calm down and look, move on to the next shot?
Well, I mean, the past is the past. The only thing you can look forward to is the future. That's the mindset that these women have to have on the golf course. Is if you dwell on your past hole or whatever, it's not going to help the future. So more than anything, Coach Justin and I, when we're out there, these ladies already put an immense amount of pressure and expectations on themselves. And so I feel like as a golf coach, of course I have my own expectation for them, but I try not to put that pressure on them. I try them to know that we as coaching staff is more of a support system there to help them, because these kids are already putting so much pressure on themselves, not just in their athletics, but their academics, their mental health. So this year's been different, but that's kind of my coaching philosophy is I'm always there for support and encouragement more so than to add extra pressure.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
DK, we're going to throw it over to you.
Hey, Laura.
Hi.
Hey, so did you go with Yusang to Augusta last year, or was it 2019 that she went and then last year's event was canceled? Kind of clear that aspect up for me.
So last year, the 2020 ANWA was canceled because of COVID. So that meant any player that was invited to the 2020 ANWA is now invited to the 2021 ANWA. So you can see Vivian, Ho, and Yusang are invited to this year's because they were invited last year. So they did compete in 2019. Okay. Both girls missed the cut by one shot to compete at Augusta. They got to play a practice round at Augusta, but it's not the same. So I know they're very, very motivated to play at Augusta in the final, for the final 30 spots that qualify for Augusta.
Now, did you go? Did you go for that?
I did.
Well, so what was it like for you just to kind of be there?
Oh, it was amazing. It was fantastic. They qualify. The 2 qualifying rounds is not at Augusta. They played another course there at Augusta. That's a very difficult golf course. So just getting to watch them and compete. And then it was really awful because I was there with Yusung as she double bogeyed her last hole, and she just wept in my arms after she missed the cut. But then they played the practice round the next day, and then we all went and watched the tournament, the ANWA, because we had our plane tickets. We were all there, and it was fun to walk the golf course with them, with Yusung and Vivian. It was Coach Justin, myself, and then a good friend who's the Denver coach. We watched the Jennifer Kupcho and Maria Fossey final. We watched the final groups. So it was a great trip, and I know they're motivated to make the cut this year.
Do you think we'll ever see a major, either a major women's event or a minor professional women's event at that facility?
No.
Is that a disappointing thing to say?
I mean, of course. I mean, I think the fact that Augusta National has opened their doors to the best women amateur players is a great first step. But as for to say that they're going to allow the professional women play, I think we're still quite a few years away from that, but hopefully soon.
All right, Alec White, you're up next, Alec.
Yeah, just with Yusang and Vivian, how much do you notice them pushing each other on the course and being able to be someone that they both can lean on during difficult times?
Yeah, this is my first sister duo that I've ever had on a team. And I remember when I played at Arizona, we had two sisters, but the two sisters didn't really get along. So it can be a benefit to have sisters, or it can be a curse. So Yusung and Vivian, they do everything together. They are best friends. They're only a year and a half apart in age, which I think also helps with the closeness. They are each other's swing instructors. They're each other's practice buddies, course strategists on the golf course for they're practicing. They talk about course strategy of how they're going to play their games. Their games are very similar. Vivian hits the ball a little bit shorter than Yusung, but overall, they're meticulous with their preparation. And I think they have each other to feed off of each other to make each other better, which you see that on the LPGA more than the PGA Tour. You don't see a lot of brothers out on the PGA Tour, but on the LPGA Tour, you look at the most successful women right now, they're sisters. They're Nelly and Jessica Korda. They're the Jutnagaran, Araya and Moraya Jutnagaran out there. So it's kind of interesting. I would love to see what a psychologist has to say with sisters playing high level sports, even like the Williams sisters.
And then it was the team's first performance tournament altogether at Talking Stick a couple weeks ago. What did you take away from that, and what you can build on now that you've got one under your belt with kind of the last half of the season approaching?
Yeah, it wasn't too surprising that Yusung and Vivian kind of and Therese, they kind of rose to the top. We still have some work to do in our last few lineup spots. We got to continue to get better. Vivian right now is actually suffering from a hip labrum tear in her hip, and she's gonna need surgery. So Vivian fared fairly well up at Talking Stick, considering she's dealing with an injury right now and fighting through it and still playing because she wants to play at Augusta. But I'm optimistic. I think the ladies are really focused now that we have the 5 to play, and we finished third up at Talking Stick, which was respectable, but we still got beat by, I don't know, like almost 30 shots. So we know we have some work to do. But the fact that we have 5 here ready to play is definitely uplifting all their spirits.
And you said Vivian has a hip labrum tear?
Yeah,
is that something she can play through? How does that kind of play into how she approaches her golf swing?
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty common injury for a lot of sports. It does cause a little pain, a little bit of tightness. So she's definitely doing a lot of physical therapy to kind of before we play in tournaments, and she just needs to make sure she doesn't overuse it too much. But again, like their goal is to really play and play well at Augusta. So having surgery, the last month or so wasn't really ideal for her. So she's definitely playing through some pain, and but luckily I guess it's not too bad of an injury to where she can't play. But I know she's not 100%, so that makes it tough too.
DK, go back to you, DK.
Hey, Laura, what is just like right now, the women's programs at U of A are all really doing well. You have, a number of them, obviously, with your program and with women's basketball and softball. Just kind of what does that mean for the ladies inside the building to be kind of where they are right now, kind of lifting this program up?
Yeah, I would say amongst the women's teams, there's a lot of pride. And I think we all have the expectations to excel at the highest level. I think women's golf, having won the championship recently, and then I think Coach Adia Barnes with her success with winning the NIT, and then having a fantastic year last year into having the success that she's doing. I think all these women's teams are seeing the success of each other's, and it's very motivating. And I think a lot of these women athletes are good friends. And, to be, last in the Pac-12, I don't think it's very acceptable for all these teams and coaches. So, and Coach Kendra, he has his legacy, and softball with their tremendous roster that they've got this year, having hope to win it all as well, that there's a lot of really positive momentum for women's sports and women athletes right now, especially at U of A. But I say we need more female coaches, but that's just my opinion, but I'll keep it.
And just your thoughts on seeing Anika back out playing professional last weekend?
that was such a statement that she is just the absolute best female golfer of all time. I mean, she's probably mid to late 40s, still very, very sharp, making the cut. Of course, not being close enough to win, but being a mom of two young children and still being able to compete at that level is just fantastic. And I think it gives all of us hope, that we can still play with the young guns.
What would be your number? Have you shot a full round lately? What's your number right now?
Oh gosh, I have not played golf recently, but if I shoot, I hate to say it, but if I keep it under 75, I'm very, very happy. But I can't play those long tees anymore. I need to increase my club head speed. So,
thanks, Laura.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for hopping on. Like I said, Arizona, the tournament starts Monday out at Sawilo. If you're going to be out there, let me know. And we'll see you on down the road.